Listen, if there's one thing I can tell you is I see a lot of people that don't grow past a certain level because they have certain inner insecurities that nobody knows about. Let me explain to you what insecurities are to you. You ever have that one dream, the nightmare that you read about in these dream books? And this nightmare is the one that, this bad guy's coming after you. And no matter how much you try to move, you can't even move. You know which one I'm talking about? Like you're trying to run, your legs don't move. It's almost as if they're glued to the ground, right? You know what I'm saying? You ever had that nightmare before? So your insecurities are the glue. If you don't address your insecurities, you don't feel you can get away from the nightmare and live your dreams. In this episode, I'm going to speak to you about the different kind of insecurities we all have and how to address them. So, a lot of times we see somebody that's very successful and you say, oh my gosh, this guy must have zero insecurities. He must be 100% confident. Look at the way he talks. Here's the reality of it. There's not a single person in the world that doesn't have any insecurities. Even the best looking Brad Pitt, Ryan Gosling, whatever these actresses that you see, Margot Robbie, they all have certain insecurities. Matter of fact, here's a weird thing to be thinking about. Over the years, I've met a lot of beautiful women. Some of the most insecure women I met in my life were the hottest ones. And by the way, I've partied with a lot of guys as well. We would go out and hang out with them. Some of the most insecure men I've ever met were the best looking ones with beautiful bodies, nice faces, and they were still insecure. There's a formula for it. If you don't address it, these things can haunt you and you can't even enjoy your life. I'm going to talk to you about two different kinds of insecurities and an 8-step process on how to address your insecurities in this video. So first of all, let's address the two different kinds of insecurities that you may have. Some of them are going to be physical and some of them are going to be emotional. Believe it or not, we think it's the physical ones that have the most consequences in our lives, but it's actually the emotional ones. So let's have some fun first and talk about the physical ones. All right, so quick disclaimer before I get into this physical stuff. Some of them I say is going to make you feel uncomfortable because it has to do with you. So if you're ready, I can go into it. So take a deep breath, let it out, and just brace yourself. Here's some of the physical things that most of us are insecure with. Hands. Some people don't like the size of their hands. Stretch marks. Either you gain a lot of weight or you lost a lot of weight. But you could get them on your chest, your thighs, your legs. People don't like them. Nose. A lot of people don't like the fact that they have a big nose. I used to have a very big nose because I was very skinny, so it looked even bigger. It was something I struggled with when I was in high school. Your skin tone, acne. Some people don't like their skin. Some people don't like the color of their skin. They wish they were whiter. They wish they were darker. Body hair. Some people have a lot of body hair. Wrinkles. Some people don't like the wrinkles on their face. Private parts, both men and women. Listen, breast, butt, or you're dangling. There are some people that are very uncomfortable about their private parts. Yes, I said dangling. Body odor is another one. Some people smell funny. So I wish I smelled different. People have told me I smell funny. Teeth. I have that one tooth right in the bottom there that's crooked. I wish it was straight, right? Toes. Man, one of my toes is longer than the other one. I'm embarrassed when I wear those open toes. I wish that toe wasn't longer. Can't I just chop it up? Just cut it off already, right? My weight. Man, I'm too skinny. I'm too fat. I wish I was 50 pounds lighter. Man, my height. I'm too tall. I don't fit anywhere. Man, I'm too short. I wish I was a little bit taller, right? Baldness. I don't like this bald stuff. Man, I know people say it's sexy. I wish I had hair. That hairline, that hairlines keep going back and forth. I know LeBron James has a hairline as well, but man, I don't like my hairline. I wish I didn't have a hairline. Shoe size. Why am I a size 6, man? I wish I was a size 13 or 16. I wish Shaq has size 24. What if I had feet that big? Okay, so you okay? Are you still taking a deep breath or are you just laughing all over the place? You're still thinking about the private part stuff I talked about. By the way, everybody has one of those, right, that you thought about. Okay, as funny and as true as this may be, this is not even close to what's really holding you back. It's the emotional stuff. So let's get into the emotional stuff. So one of them is your upbringing. Listen, the way you were raised. Maybe you're not happy with the fact that you were raised in a trailer home, or you're not happy about the fact that you grew up in a certain city. There were gangs. Maybe you don't like the way your parents raised you, your mom or your dad abused you, your mom abused you. Your mom embarrasses you sometimes because of the faults she made, the mistakes she made. Your dad, the same way. Maybe your friends, maybe you're not proud of your friends. Maybe you're not proud of the fact that you don't have friends. Maybe you think all your friends are having fun. They don't even want to be around you, right? Maybe your spouse, you're not happy with the person you married. Maybe you don't even have a spouse. You wish you had a spouse. Everybody else has a boyfriend. Everybody else has a girlfriend, but you don't. And you feel, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not good enough for somebody. Your kids, your family, your nationality. I wish I was white. I wish I was Hispanic. I wish I was black. You wish you were something else. Your past, you did some stuff in the past you're embarrassed of. You have some past failures, a bad breakup, a bad divorce, a past mistake that is absolutely embarrassing that if people found out about it, you'd want to find the smallest hole and go hide in it, right? Social anxiety from not wanting to be around a lot of people. You like to be by yourself. You're afraid when there's a lot of people, there's a big crowd. Maybe you remember certain words said to you by your loved ones. Maybe your mom, dad, husband, wife, ex, any of that. Some of these things maybe you relate to. Somebody told you you're stupid, you're ugly, you're short, you're slow, you're worthless, you're fat. No one will ever love you. No one would ever marry you. You'll never amount to anything. You'll never be able to stop drinking. You'll never be anything in your life. Maybe it isn't some of the words. Maybe you had somebody in your life that was a perfectionist, a father, a mother that wanted you to win and do everything right. Maybe you had a coach, a boss, somebody that expected so much from you. You feel like you can't move because your standards are perfection. You feel like you have to do everything perfectly right or else you're not worth it. These are some of the things that people struggle with on the emotional side. Maybe even you're watching this right now, you're telling yourself, man, these are some of the things I've dealt with. And let me tell you, it hurts me. It scarred me. It's difficult to even listen to it. I understand, but you are not alone. We all have them. We all have physical, we all have emotional. And you have to sit down at one point and address them in order to put it behind you so you can move on and live the life that you want to live. So if you're listening to this stuff and you're telling yourself, Pat, this is painful, man, I relate to some of this stuff. Yeah, that hurt me. My mom did say something like that. My dad did say something like that. I feel like I have to be perfect. You don't know the way I was raised. I understand. Here's the reality. I have insecurities. Some are physical, some are emotional. You have insecurities. Some are physical, some are emotional. No one's going to be insecurity 100% free. Everyone's going to have a little bit of it. But you got to address it. And if you keep hiding it and not addressing it, life ain't going to change much for you. So hopefully in this video, you're actually going to follow some of these formulas that I'm going to give to you and start questioning some of these things and see if we can get rid of some of them, fix some of them. Fair enough? Having said that, let's get to the next part of this video. Number one, so you just heard me make a list of insecurities, both physical and emotional. Some of you may say, well, I relate to this one, a little bit of this for me, all this other stuff. No matter what it is that you have, the first thing you need to do to address your insecurities is actually make a list of them. Literally make a list of them. I've been told I'm ugly. I've been told I'm short. I've been told whatever it is. Make a list, your list. Write them down, okay? Once you do that, you got to ask yourself 3 questions about each one of them. Here's how simple the questions are. Number 1, is it true? Number 2, is it partially true? Number 3, is it absolutely wrong? Okay? Once you answer that about each one of them, then you have the next thing to answer. Okay? Here's what the next thing is. Can I permanently fix it? 2, can I partially improve it? 3, there's nothing I can do about it. For instance, you've been told you have bad skin. So you say, yes, it's partially true. Can you do anything about it? Yes, I can improve it, but I can't permanently get rid of it. Great. Now you have something that you can improve. But if somebody tells you, I've been told I'm short, okay, how tall are you? 5'3". Can you improve your height? No, that's not changing, okay? Number 2, you have to make a list of the insecurities that you cannot change and you have to accept yourself. Newsflash. You are going to have some things in your body and your height and your emotional side that there's nothing you can do about, period. There are certain things physically you're not going to be able to change. Maybe you're bald, you can have implants, but height, you can't do nothing about. Shoe size, you can't do nothing about. Hand size, you can't do nothing about. There are a lot of things you can do nothing about. And sometimes the biggest challenge is to be able to address that and say, listen, I have to accept this. It's fine. Everybody's born with certain flaws and certain insecurities. I'm moving on. That's step number 2. Number 3. Okay, so if you're saying, well, Pat, I have a hard time accepting some of these, you got to do them because number 3 isn't any easier either. Number 3 is forgiveness. And here's what I mean by forgiveness. I'm not trying to be the spiritual leader for you and get up here and say, you got to forgive. I'm not. It's not the easiest thing to do in life. It's a very hard to do. But you're not necessarily forgiven for the other person. You're forgiven for yourself. You have to understand that your parents are not perfect. You don't know what your mom and dad were going through that day when they told you what they were telling you. You have no idea what your ex was going through. Maybe they were hurting. A lot of times you hear the saying, the person that's hurting is hurting, right? The person who hurts It's hurting, like internally. You don't know what that person is going through. So you have to yourself and say, listen, man, I forgive him. I forgive her. It's all good. I'm going to move on. Why? Because one day you're going to hope somebody forgives you as well. So step number 3 is actually telling yourself, I am willing to forgive this individual. Number 4. So listen, the next one may sound hokey to you, but it works, and that's your affirmations, daily affirmations. The other day I was in the garage, and I was going through a bunch of different things. I found these boxes, and all of a sudden I found one of these boxes. I said, wait a minute, what is this here? This is my affirmation from 2002. You can see all the blemishes on the side. This was on my shower wall, and I would read it nonstop, loud, all the time. You know why affirmations are necessary for some people? You ever hear some people that are very confident, comfortable in their skin, and they'll say things like, oh, when I was, growing up, my mother told me how amazing I was, she loved me, my dad loved me, and even some motivational speakers will say, my parents loved me, my mother loved me. That's not everybody. Not every culture is like that, and not everybody had a parent that raised them that way, right? If you don't, you need to have some affirmations. These are some of the ones I had. Look at the last one that I have here, by the way. Here's the last one that I have. Don't you want to retire your dad? Buy yourself a house. Become debt-free. Make the Story Builders, that's the first company I've ever built. It was in 2001. Make the Story Builders a company that made the biggest difference and become a great example to others who would want to model you. Build the best school in the country where the students learn to become great leaders at a younger age. I wrote this in 2001. Drive your Ferrari, go visit your horses at the stable, have a bunch of pets at your house, have a beautiful white tiger, great family, great spiritual life, many kids, and be able to live all your dreams. Then you got to get off your ass and get after. That's my last affirmation. By the way, every one of them had to do with something I had to work on at that time. Every one of my affirmations. Here's another one that I created. I created this in 2007, 2008. I will personally do my best to make all decisions with the core foundation of integrity. When making decisions, keep this in mind. Emotions high, intelligence low. Number 2, focus on my strengths rather than my weaknesses. Number 3, not be afraid of taking risks and facing my fears. Number 4, embrace confrontation and adversity rather than ignoring it. Number 5, share my vision with the people around me at all times. I mean, you get the idea. These are things that matter to me at that point in my life. So your affirmations change as you grow up into a next level of your life. The next ones that I have right now is 2-3 pages. It's completely different than this one or this one. But affirmations work. Stop putting it aside and letting all the other hokey people do it and let their dreams become a reality. Rather, you test it for a year and see how it works. I promise you, a year from now, you won't recognize yourself. Number 5. All right, so here's another one that's pretty simple and it's effective. You've heard it a million different times, but you got to do it, and that's gratitude. You got to sit there and make a list of things you're grateful for. Literally, take a sheet of paper and make a list of things you're grateful for. Family, mom, dad, live in America, live in my country. I live 30 minutes away from the beach. Whatever it is, when you make a list, every single time you do this exercise, no matter how much insecurities you have and how many fears you're having, how many concerns you're having, somehow, some way, this exercise about gratitude always gives you peace. Number 6. So look, the next thing you got to do is you got to figure out a way to increase your internal value. What do I mean by internal value? As hot as you may be right now, you ain't going to be hot like this for the rest of your life. You can be a 75-year-old good-looking person still for a 75-year-old, but a 75-year-old isn't going to be better looking than a 22-year-old good-looking person, right? However, a 75-year-old with a lot of internal value is emotionally attractive to the world. So work on increasing your internal value. What do I mean by this? There are typically, you've heard of Maslow's law where he says all these different needs you have. You have a need for this, you have a need for that. Let me just simplify in a basic way for you to be thinking about it. We have a law, we have a need for connection. We have a need for connection. What do I mean by connection? Love. This could be friendship. We need friends. We need companions. Somebody we build a family with. Somebody we build a life with, right? Interaction. We need that. There's a need for that. Another one that you need is a career. Like, I am valuable. I am valuable in a marketplace. I know how to do X, Y, Z, and people count on me to do X, Y, Z. That increases my value because I'm an expert in an area, right? Then there is spiritual value that you increase. Spiritual value, whatever your faith may be, right? It could be a religion, it could be a prayer, it could be meditation, it could be a complete different thing, but you gotta have spiritual. Why? You see, this right here with your friends, family, loved ones, this is human interaction. You're with them. Your career, you're with people. Spiritual, you gotta figure out a way to get along with yourself when your friends and family are not around and when your coworkers are not around. That's spiritual connection. There's got to be a game plan for that. If you don't have that, and you always have to be around people to be happy, and you have the sense of insecurity, you're generally not going to be at peace for too long. So what could be the game plan? You may say, Pat, how can I have a game plan for friends, family, and loved ones? Very simple. Have a game plan. What do you want to look for in a spouse? Actually be clear about what you want, right? And who do I have to be to get this partner? Who do I have to be to have a partner and have a connection like this? What kind of friends do you want to have? What kind of friends do I need to be to have a friend like that? You got to go through that process on this side to have connection with people. Where do I need to put myself? Maybe I'm too timid. Maybe I need to start talking to people. I don't talk a lot. I don't ask questions. I'm just so shy. I make other people feel uncomfortable. So maybe I'm going to start asking people more questions and getting to know them and put myself out there. But there's got to be a game plan here. The other side, career-wise. I have a career, but I'm not really playing that much offense. Well, what do you need to put yourself out there? Maybe you need to learn 3 more new skills. May need to be a little bit more assertive about yourself. And next time somebody says, who wants to take this responsibility? I'll try it. Put yourself out there. Put yourself out there where someone's going to say, this guy came through, she came through. But you're improving also on your career side. Spiritual side, start seeking. Read some books. Read some spiritual books. Maybe pick up a book that talks about every single one of the religions and see what makes sense to you. Talk about it a little bit. Pray about it. Meditate about it. Go take yoga. I don't know. But have a game plan for each one of these things to advance in your life, because when you do that, you increase your value internally, and slowly but surely, you start becoming more and more confident and your insecurities go away. Number 7. So we just talked about it. You got to figure out a way to increase your value internally, right? You also got to figure out a way to increase your value externally. What do I mean by that? You got skin issues? Put a game plan. Go sit with somebody and see what they're going to tell you about improving your skin. You're out of shape? Get in shape. You don't feel good about the way you look? Do so. You don't like the way you dress? Figure out a way how to dress. Maybe go talk to somebody, read books on it. But somehow, some way, also try to figure out a way. Maybe you're not physically going to be a 10. I mean, in reality, who is a 10? Maybe you're currently a 4, but you can at least take yourself to a 7.5. What's that game plan? Figure out a way to improve your diet, your health, your life, your exercise, your energy, all of that stuff. So put a game plan also for external value. Number 8. Okay, so the last thing you got to do is not an easy one to do, and that's why I left it last. Here's what it is. You got to sit together with a trusted mentor who's not afraid of telling you the truth. Not a jerk, but it's not afraid of telling the truth. It's not afraid of telling you you're full of it. They're not afraid of telling you you're overthinking it. They're not afraid of telling you, why are you worried about this? They're not afraid of telling you, listen, you think you're good in this? You're really not. Don't think too much about this. It's okay. This is the area you want to improve in. But you need somebody to sit with that's a trusted mentor that understands your insecurities, that's willing to be gentle with you, yet is willing to be honest with you. And from there, you walk out and you say, wow, this is great. I got a game plan to go out there and address my insecurities. And that whole nightmare thing I told you about where you're glued because of your insecurities, you can finally remove your legs and run away and go live the dream life that you want to live. All right, so by the way, I've had so many different private conversations about people with their insecurities to address what they need to do to take their games to the next level. So I do know if you're watching this, and if you actually watch this video again after downloading the PDF that Mario made for you, you click on a link below in the description, go get the PDF, watch it again, take inventory and improve it, because if you just set this aside video and you watch it one time, it ain't going to have a lot of effect on you. Second thing, we just crossed 900,000 subs. Thank you so much, everybody, all the Valuetainers out there. I respect you so much, because I think Valuetainment fans are the best fans in the world, because they want to improve and get better and make the economy, the world, a better place. So much respect for you. You don't just come here for entertainment. You come here because you want to improve. I respect you and cannot wait to meet you at our first live Valuetainment conference when we cross 1 million subs. We're this close, by the way, very, very close. Last but not least, thoughts, comments, comment below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do so. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Love you.